Hi Taurus, welcome to your love reading for February 2020. I've already shuffled the decks and you did have two jumping cards. I'm so sorry I did not upload your mid-month reading for the month of January. So to make this up to you, I'm uploading your reading first, and I'll make sure and upload your mid-month reading for the month of February also first, regardless of views. Okay, so let me show you the cards that jumped for you. The cards that jumped were the King of Wands and the Two of Wands. Now, an amazing synchronicity, because this is the second time I had to do this video because my camera disconnected. When I pulled all 9 cards and I asked what's the most important thing that Taurus needs to hear, I pulled the King of Wands, and I decided to get a clarity card since it was a court card, and the clarification card was the Queen of Wands. So if you have an ex or you have someone you want to reconnect with who is a fire sign, I feel like the month of February could be very important for you. This could also be if you're single, that perhaps there is a fire sign coming into your life. Now we do have the King of Wands here with the Two of Wands. So some of you, perhaps you're waiting for this fire sign to come back into your life. It could be maybe you're waiting to hear from them. You're waiting to see if this person's going to stay in a relationship with you. Let's go ahead and put these back in the deck. But I did want to mention this weird kind of synchronicity with the King and the Queen of Wands. So some of you could be either going back to a fire sign or meeting a fire sign. Okay, this is a love reading for the sign of Taurus for February 2020. You've got the Page of Pentacles. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for February. The Hangman. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for February. You've got the Magician. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for February. Seven of Wands. You've got Four of Wands. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for February. You've got Three of Pentacles. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for February 2020. You've got the Tower. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for February. You've got the Chariot. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for February. And the Five of Pentacles. Okay, what's the most important thing that Taurus needs to hear about their love life for February 2020? The message that you have, Taurus, is the Nine of Wands. So the Nine of Wands can be that maybe you're feeling pretty protective of yourself in the month of February. I do see that you have quite a lot going on here. I mean, you've got the Five of Pentacles, you've got the Tower. It could be that maybe you're kind of holding back, you're afraid to let somebody in. So we'll come back to this card in a minute and see how it ties in with the rest of the reading. Let's go ahead and start at the top. If you'd like a private reading with me, just go to my website, channelguidance.com, and I'll put a link right below the video. Okay, so you've got the Page of Pentacles, the Hangman, and the Magician. So some of you in the month of February, you may kind of feel that, your love life is not really going where you want it to go because you've got the Hangman here. It's like you feel like you're stuck. You feel like your relationship or your marriage is in limbo. And I feel like this is what you're going to be concentrating on in the month of February. You've got the Page of Pentacles, which means you're going to be looking very carefully at either relationships, people where it's, kind of nothing is happening there. You do have the Magician here. So the Magician is telling you that whatever it is that's going to happen in these relationships have kind of maybe hit a dead end, or a marriage where you're just kind of stuck. The Magician is telling you that you really need to kind of take the lead here. This is about manifest. You can either manifest a new beginning with this person, or you can manifest a new relationship with someone else. I just feel like you're being told here that you can do something. There's something Taurus can do about a situation here, a relationship where everything is just stuck and there is, you're in limbo, you're not moving forward. I feel like this is what you're going to be looking at in the month of February. Now, if we look at this next row, we've got the Seven of Wands, the Four of Wands, and the Three of Pentacles. So there is, a relationship here. This could either be a very committed relationship, a long-term relationship, or a marriage. And there is kind of strange activity around it. We've got the Three of Pentacles, which means that someone is trying desperately to invest in this relationship. Like, this is the energy of like, I'll do anything. There's a lot of time, energy, love invested perhaps in this marriage or in this long-term relationship. You've got the Seven of Wands here, which means that you may have to really put your foot down. Again, you do have the Magician here. So the month of February should be a very empowering month for you. Keep in mind that this card usually does come up when you're not being treated fairly. When, somebody is kind of pushing you around, walking all over you. I feel like you have invested a lot of time and effort in a relationship or a marriage, Again, you have more power than you know in the month of February. This could be the time for you to really put your foot down and kind of see how can you change the situation. Now at the bottom, let's see, I might have to hold them up for you. We've got the Tower, we've got the Chariot, and the Five of Pentacles. So you've got the Tower, although, you know, I kind of see, you know, stuck energy around your love life in the month of February, but you have the Tower here, which means that anything can happen. You also have the Tower right next to the Chariot, which is the ultimate card of victory, big movement, big changes. So it could be that maybe a relationship or marriage had been in limbo, nothing changing. Again, you have the Magician here, so there is something that you can do. There can be big changes around a relationship that was stuck, with the Tower being right next to the Chariot. The Chariot can also represent the sign of Cancer, you know, and we've got the Five of Pentacles here. So this is a very kind of, you know, sad, kind of lonely energy. Some of you might be feeling kind of really abandoned, very lonely, like somebody has completely shut you out of their life, or just emotionally shut you out. And this could be, you know, something that, you know, has left you completely stuck and in limbo with the Hangman here. But remember, you have the Magician, so there is something that you can change. You can manifest kind of a different ending to this relationship that you've invested a lot of time and effort into with the Three of Pentacles. Remember, the main energy is the Nine of Wands. So just kind of remember, going into the month, you might be feeling very protective of yourself, because I feel like somebody has done you wrong here with the Seven of Wands. You might not want to trust this person anymore. You may not want to let them in. But again, you have the Magician. There is something that you can do. Let me get a few more to see what other messages come up for you. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus as far as their love life for February 2020? We've got the Three of Wands. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for February. The Eight of Pentacles. And the Lovers. So the Lovers can represent the sign of Gemini. But I mean, this is a relationship that you want very much. And it can be maybe, you know, a relationship, someone that you're dating, can also be a marriage. This is just a relationship that you really want to hold on to. This is a relationship you want very much. Perhaps this is the relationship you've invested a lot of time and effort in. You've given it your all. With the Three of Pentacles right next to the Eight of Pentacles. We've got the Three of Wands here, so this does, you know, kind of represent waiting. But to me, the Three of Wands is very positive, because it's telling you the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. You also have, I just realized here that you've got, let's see here. You've got the Three of Pentacles here, and you've got the Three of Wands. To me, the threes represent growth, expansion. So some of you, if this is an ex situation, it might be too soon. It could be, maybe that's why you're, you know, feel like you're stuck. You're in limbo with the Hangman. It could be too soon if you recently broke up for anything to really change. Because I see a lot of, you know, a lot of work to do here with the Eight of Pentacles. There's a lot of work to do maybe for this person to have your trust again. Because again, I see someone here feeling pretty, you know, paranoid, protective, and on guard. Again, there is waiting here. It's like there is a timing to all of this, as far as maybe, you know, you and a husband, a wife, or perhaps, you know, an ex. There is a timing to all of this. There's a lot of work that has to be put in. But I mean, ultimately, you do get what you want. You have the Lovers here. There's still a very significant relationship around you. Again, even if this person is no longer in your life, that connection is still there. Okay, so let me get a few from the confirmation deck. Let's see what else comes up for you. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus for February 2020? You've got the Seven of Pentacles, love reading for the sign of Taurus for February. You've got the Four of Wands, which is a repeat card because we also have it right here. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for February. And my goodness, you have the Hangman again, because the other one is there. What's the most important thing that Taurus needs to hear about their love life for February 2020? You've got the Three of Cups. So Three of Cups, this is you celebrating. This does represent that there's still a lot of happiness to come. There's still a lot of joy, laughter. I've also just added another three. Remember, you had the Three of Wands and the Three of Pentacles. So, I mean, this is a confirmation that there's still a lot of growing to do. That it's still maybe too early for you to see the final result. But just remember that you are supposed to be empowered in the month of February. You have a lot of power behind you as far as some type of relationship or marriage where you feel like you're stuck. You're in limbo. There's nothing changing here. There is something that you can do, but I feel like some of you have to really put your foot down. If somebody's leading you on, this is perhaps some of you setting boundaries with someone who's taking advantage of you. Again, you have the Tower. Like, everything can change in the blink of an eye. I mean, you also have the Four of Wands as a repeat card here. So for some of you, this can be, if you're single, this can be maybe you're meeting somebody significant, because this can be your life partner, a marriage, a commitment coming in for you. I mean, you also have the Seven of Pentacles here. So to me, this is a card of decisions. Some of you, because of the messages that you have on the other side, and the Hangman is here 2 times, some of you might be making a decision about a relationship or a marriage where you feel like somebody has just completely abandoned you. Let me bring up the card here, because you do have that message here. The Five of Pentacles. You might be trying to make a decision about a relationship where somebody has just completely locked you out. Maybe kicked you out of their life. And you feel like, you're powerless here. You're stuck. You might be making a decision as far as, are you going to move on in the month of February? This is you weighing the pros and cons. Maybe waiting for this relationship to be, to get back on track. But you have a strong message here of the Hangman 2 times. So keep in mind that there's a message of waiting for the sign of Taurus. You're waiting. There's still stuck energy in your love life. And some of you, I do feel some of you will be making a decision like, I don't really know if I want to wait this out. I don't know if I want to keep waiting for this person. Maybe I should move on. But remember, you do have the Lovers here. And the Lovers did come up right after the Three of Wands. Let me just kind of move you over a little bit. The Three of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles. So there is waiting. There's a lot of work that has to be done, but there's still a very strong connection here, very strong relationship. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the X spread. Taurus, let's go ahead and see what's going on between you and your ex in the month of February. Taurus and their ex, February 2020. You've got the Five of Swords. Taurus and their ex for the month of February. Page of Swords. Taurus and their ex for February. The Ace of Pentacles. Taurus and their ex for February. Eight of Swords. Taurus and their ex for February. King of Wands. Taurus and their ex for February. Seven of Wands, which also came up for you in the first spread. Taurus and their ex for February. You've got the Emperor, February, let's see. Taurus and their ex for February. Queen of Wands, so you have the King and the Queen of Wands, which I told you in the first spread, that had happened for you in the reading where I was disconnected. You have a combination of King and Queen of Wands. So it's interesting that this actually happened again. Page of Cups. Okay, so let's go ahead and start at the top to see what all of this means for you. You've got the Five of Swords, the Page of Swords, and the Ace of Pentacles. So, there is a new beginning here for you that could happen between you and your ex. Of course, this is a spread for those of you where, maybe you've been broken up for some time. Maybe you have zero communication. You do have 2 pages in this spread. You've got the Page of Swords and the Page of Cups, which do represent communication. Some of you could be hearing from your ex, or there could be communication between you. I do feel like you have to be careful, though, because, there's kind of this entire reading starts with a red flag card. You have the Five of Swords, which is kind of getting your attention that for some of you, not for everyone, but for some of you, perhaps going back to your ex is maybe not a good idea. Because the Five of Swords does, this is kind of negative energy. This is like the devil to me. It's also an empty victory. You might get what you want and then realize that the same thing's just going to happen again. This person's just going to let you down again. Because there is a new beginning here that could happen, but make sure that you're hearing the truth from this person. You've got the Page of Swords, which this is someone just being completely open and honest. Here's the truth. It may not be what you want to hear, but this is the truth. And with the Five of Swords, again, I just feel like, to me, the Five of Swords it's just a very bad decision. It's an empty victory, something that you'll look back on and think, I should have just left that person alone. I feel like it's a possibility of a new beginning with them, but make sure you're hearing the truth. Now, if you look at the next row here, you've got the Eight of Swords, the King of Wands, and the Seven of Wands. Keep in mind the King of Wands is lined up with the Queen of Wands. So if your ex is a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, male or female, sun or rising, this is definitely speaking to you. This can also represent you if you have a moon or rising in a fire sign. I just feel here, when you've got this King of Wands, the King and the Queen of Wands can also represent like leadership, like take the initiative, do something, because you also have the Emperor down here. The Emperor is about taking control, power, being in the driver's seat. It could be that maybe if you're going to get back together with your ex, maybe You really need to speak your mind here. We've got the Seven of Wands, which is, this is a repeat card. It came up in the first spread. This is you. This is fiery energy of like speaking your truth, standing your ground, confrontational energy, fighting back, perhaps so that you don't end up here regretting that you let this person back in the first place. Because I feel like, you do have this new beginning, but you also have the Eight of Swords, which means that there could be a chance to reconcile with your ex, but you might be feeling kind of stuck. Like, this is a card of being stuck mentally in a mental prison. You don't really know what to do. Perhaps you don't trust this person anymore. You're literally being told here to take back your power. Stay in control. If this person has walked all over you, again, Page of Swords, make sure that you're hearing the truth. Make sure that you're setting boundaries. You've got to stay in control here. You've got the Emperor right next to the Queen of Wands, which again is very fiery energy of, take the lead. This is being very self-confident, going after what you want. And again, this all leads to the Page of Cups, which can be reconciling with your ex. But this also is communication. This is really talking about feelings, love, relationships, maybe where your relationship is going. But I feel like it's not just kind of smooth sailing. Like you definitely have to be sure that you want this person back in your life. Make sure you're hearing the truth, because I feel like there could be regrets. Like you might get them back here, Ace of Pentacles in your beginning, and you might think, I should just left this person alone because we're back to square one. Okay, let me get a few more. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus about their ex for February 2020? You've got Two of Pentacles. What other messages are there for Taurus about their ex? Ten of Pentacles. And Death. So there can be a huge change here. We've got Death, which could represent the sign of Scorpio, but it just means like there can be like a dramatic change, a very significant new beginning and ending as far as you and your ex. And you do have, we have a relationship here, the Ten of Pentacles, commitment. It can even be a card of marriage. Maybe you were engaged, you thought you were going to get married. There can still be a big transformation here. It's just everything's up in the air. And it's kind of strange because you did have the Hangman 2 times in the first spread. So I do see the sign of Taurus, like everything's very unsettled in the month of February. Unfortunately, I feel like here there's just somebody keeps changing their mind perhaps. This is a card of kind of waffling, back and forth. I want you back. No, I don't. Yes, maybe. It's know that you're dealing with someone or something kind of very unstable here that perhaps they keep changing their mind. But with that said, I still see a relationship here and, kind of a big change, a big dramatic change in the whole situation. Okay, let's get a few from the confirmation deck. What else does Taurus need to hear about their ex for February 2020? You've got the Knight of Cups, Taurus and their ex for February. Four of Swords and the Five of Wands. Yeah, the Knight of Cups can be perhaps, you trying to win this person back. It can be them, but I feel like it's you. To be honest, when I look at this card, I feel like it's you. This Knight of Cups wants to romance someone, sweep them off their feet. Wants a relationship to keep moving, but this is not kind of allowing that. This is kind of saying that may not happen in the month of February. The Four of Swords, this is perhaps healing that needs to happen, maybe for one or both of you, but this also is a card of someone that just needs time. They need time to themselves. Now you've got the Four of Swords and the Five of Swords. So it could be that if you don't give this person time, and remember you did have the Three of Wands in the first spread, which is waiting. If you don't give this person time to figure things out, this could end up blowing up in your face with the Five of Swords. You also have the Five of Wands here, which means that, this I feel like ties in with the Two of Pentacles. If you're not getting back together with your ex, it's because everything's just up in the air. They don't know what they want yet. They need time to figure this out. Four of Swords. They're very conflicted, the Five of Wands. This is, you're struggling, you're fighting yourself. They're just feeling very conflicted about maybe, having a new beginning with you for whatever reason. The Five of Wands is just, you're struggling. So just kind of looking. Also, you've got 2 fives. I just realized 5 of Swords, 5 of Wands. So the fives do represent an obstacle. There is some type of obstacle as far as you and your ex getting back together in February. The obstacle could be anything from maybe they don't know if they want you back to another person. I don't know. This is a general reading. Again, the fives represent an obstacle, a challenge, a problem. Let me see what else stands out here. So, again, I already told you this. King and Queen of Wands plus the Emperor. That's a lot of power. That's a lot of energy. if you've kind of not, because it's a general reading, I'll just go over a few scenarios. If you've done nothing to try to get your ex back, it could be maybe that's what you need to do in the month of February. You need to take control here. Perhaps, you've been worried about, will this person take me back? Will they even talk to me? Because in the first spread, this was the main energy, the Nine of Wands. You're feeling very protective, on guard, you've been hurt. You see the person here with a broken arm. Maybe you've had a broken heart. You're afraid to approach this person again. I know, this King and Queen of Wands, plus the Emperor, that is a lot of power. So I feel like you have it in you, maybe to get this person back. Again, if you've done nothing to get them back, it could be that maybe that's what you need to do. But if you've done everything, maybe the person is just like, no thanks, pushing you away. Kind of rethink that, depending on what you have with this person. Because again, not a good omen for the Five of Swords to be the first card, because this does represent perhaps an empty victory. You could get that in your beginning and think, damn, I should have just left that person alone. I never should have gone back to him. This is just a very bad decision. It's negative energy. Let me get you a card from this deck right here, which is a love oracle. Let's see what comes up for you. What final message is there for the sign of Taurus for the month of February? What does Taurus need to hear about their love life? Okay, this card jumped out for you. Let's see what it is. Yeah, you've got Ice Queen. So, this definitely resonates with everything that I've been telling you. This is someone who is just kind of frozen over. Maybe they've been hurt so much that, they're just not in touch with their emotions. This can even be someone, it may not apply to everyone, but this is someone maybe who's very cold-hearted, who just doesn't really, I was going to say something bad, but I won't say it, but that's what came to mind. Just use your imagination. Someone who does not give a blank anymore. This could be just someone who doesn't care. So again, with the Five of Swords, be careful that it could be an Ice Queen or Ice King. So just keep that in mind. This is someone who does not care anymore. Someone who's, really not operating from their heart and their emotions. They've maybe shut down. You did have the Five of Pentacles in the first spread, and the Five of Pentacles, here it is someone who has been abandoned, emotionally shut out, and this could definitely be connected to the Ice Queen. Again, someone who just does not care anymore. Someone who is cold-hearted, who has no feelings. I know, kind of dramatic, but that's what I'm getting from this card. Okay, Taurus, this has been your love reading for the month of February 2020. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll speak to you again soon.